being a man, that's great news for me. But, and believe me, for lack of try, I have been trying. But to no avail, she hasn't been able to get her libido to cooperate with me. Now, my question is, how long should I give it before I start feeling like more rejected or just
like what's normal, right?
Yeah.
Where's your wife? Stand on up. What's your name?
Melissa.
Melissa. So you're just not in the mood.
Well, not necessarily part of the reason, but also, I mean, I had a vaginal delivery, and I'm a little bit nervous just to try, like, you know.
And how long has it been?
She's 2 months old.
2 months.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're right at the point. Right,
So-
Dr. Raj?
Yeah, you know, so you had your 6-week visit and you got the go-ahead, so that's good. So physically, probably you're okay, but emotionally, it can take a lot longer than that for a woman to be ready. And, you know, as the husband, you got to realize, Sal, that, you know, she's sleep-deprived, she's caring for a baby, she's in this new mom role. It takes a lot of adjusting, and I think you brought up the word rejection. I think it's really important that you guys communicate and that you hear from her that this is not something against you and she's not rejecting you. It's just really what she's going through, and being supportive. You seem like a really sweet, supportive guy, and giving her as much time as she needs. And there are a lot of non-sexual ways to be intimate as well, and I think it's important. A lot of couples, when they have a new baby, kind of forget about each other and the relationship. It's important to stay connected, but be patient. I think she'll definitely get there.
She'll come around. I see her. She's a freak. I'm kidding. Melissa has a question. I don't know what's wrong with it. Melissa, what's your question?
Hi, how are you?
Hi.
So my husband was there to watch my delivery, and I feel like ever since the birth, he cannot stop visualizing it in his head. And I was wondering if there was any way that I could help him to stop visualizing the birth.
Because when you have a baby, other things come out besides the baby.
A lot of other things.
So he saw all that.
He saw everything.
Thank goodness time heals all wounds. And, you know, nowadays, dads are almost always in the delivery room.
It's normal.
Yeah, I mean, 40 years ago, they had to wait in the hallway pacing back and forth till their baby was delivered. But now they're pretty much always there. And I just want to reassure you that within a few weeks, usually even by the time you've been cleared by your doctor to be able to have sex, it will fade from his memory. The image will not be burned forever. And I would say next time that you have birth, if you do decide to have more children, maybe he should stay up by your head rather than watching it next time.
Like the sheet or something, and he's kind of back there. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, there's really no sheet, really, right? It's just kind of just. There's no sheet.
But then, you know, if some time is passing and you're still finding that he is resistant to having sex, you really have to just communicate. I think that's what's most important. Ask him about his feelings, what are his fears, and let him know your body is back to normal and that it's okay.
All right, stand on up, Kimba. What's your question? Let's see your baby with the hat. Oh my God, so cute. With the little hat on. What's your question?
My question is, basically my girlfriend, she had our son like about 2.5 weeks ago. So she keeps sending me to the pharmacy for the napkins to take care of business. To take care of pads. So my question is, how long is she gonna be bleeding? Or better yet, how long do I have to keep going to the pharmacy?
And where are you from?
Trinidad.
So how long is she going to be bleeding, Dr. Raj?
So, you know, some bloody discharge is totally normal, and it can last anywhere from like 4 to 6 weeks. It usually gets lighter as time passes, so you're almost there. You're almost done with your trip. You'll be going for other things, you know, diapers, baby food, but not for pads.
I welcome that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think that's so great, though, that you're going to get the pads. That is like true love, the man going to get the pads. I love that. We'll be right back. Up next, what you did not know about breastfeeding. So it's like a sprinkler as opposed to a hose.
Do you want to choose your baby's sex, eye color, or even their height? If you'd like to use modern medicine to define the perfect baby, go to TyraShow.com.
Saggy boobies. We've covered a pee-pee, TP, a little thing you put on your little baby son's pee-pee so that the pee-pee won't go flying everywhere. And we just talked about flying umbilical cord stumps. Next, we're going to talk about how all of this new mommy stuff the first year affects your sex life. Yeah. Okay, so Felicia, you have a question. Where's Felicia? Hi.
Hi, this is embarrassing. I was trying to get intimate with my daughter's father, and while we were going through the whole foreplay part and we started getting into it, my breast milk actually squirted all over him, and it kind of sort of ruined the moment, but
He didn't like it?
no, and it was real embarrassing. So is that normal for the milk to be squirting everywhere?
Yeah. It's definitely normal, you know, and again, this shows that you're producing a lot of milk, which is really great for your baby, but any kind of stimulation of the nipple area can cause leakage like that or actual squirting. I actually had a really embarrassing moment in my OB's office 6 weeks after I delivered. You know, you go for your checkup, everything's good, and then he went to examine the breast, and I lowered the robe, and all of a sudden he jumps 3 feet to the left and says, "Whoa!" And I looked at it and I'm like squirting milk across the room. And you know, he's like, "At least you didn't get my tie." You know, it's like really embarrassing. But it's normal.
No,
you know?
I hear that like women when they're breastfeeding, the milk doesn't come out of just the middle, it comes out of all over the nipple.
Yeah.
That is freaky to me. I thought it just comes out of the middle hole. It's like, no, all those little dots that we have are holes. So it's like a sprinkler as opposed to a hose.
Exactly. And it's amazing.
Interesting.
Sometimes if you're even just thinking about your baby, you start leaking. So be prepared, have some pads there, and you'll be fine.
And tell them to enjoy it. Amanda?
My husband and I, we were always sexually active together since we started dating and everything. At this point, our son is 2 months old now, and he's ready. We've tried, but to be honest, everything just feels a little loose down there. So, is it time yet? Am I ready? Is my body ready?
So you had a baby 2 months ago?
2 months ago.
And it feels like loose.
It still feels loose. It still feels
to you
like,
or to him?
To me.
But is he okay?
He's fine.
He's fine, but it feels loose to you. Okay.
Yeah, you know, first of all, it's really important to wait a certain amount of time before you get intimate in that area, and that really is at least 6 weeks, no matter what kind of delivery you have. You need to be seen by your physician and make sure that you're healing properly and everything is okay. So having said that, it sounds like that's what you've done. It's true that it just does not feel the same initially, but don't forget what you've just been through physically, psychologically, emotionally. You're sleep deprived. There's a new person in your family. You know, you feel different. You had a baby come out of you. Give it time. It really will return.
What about if a woman has a cesarean section? Does she still have to wait 6 weeks to have sex?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's a major surgery, and even though you haven't had any trauma or changes to the vagina or the perineum, you had abdominal surgery, so you have an incision and an abdominal wall needs to heal.
Okay. All right, Dianis, what's your question?
My daughter, Alexandra Sofia, she's 10 weeks now. We were given the green light by our doctor to go ahead and start getting sexually active. She sleeps in our room, in her crib, but right next to my side of the bed. Last month, my husband has been relentlessly trying to get something going, and to be honest, I can't stop laughing because I can't do it with her in the room. So she is sleeping, and he swears to me that it's okay with her, but I'm not. I just can't get past it. So my question is, can I have sex with my husband with my daughter right next to me? Or how old is too old for that to happen?
Okay, so that's normal to do it when the kids are in the room, right? I mean, the baby is in the room.
Absolutely. You've got to do what works for you. Don't worry, the baby will not remember it. Will not be traumatized by it.
She won't be scarred.
So do what you're comfortable with, and you may not, you don't want the baby in the bed with you, and you may have to keep things a little quieter, but it's absolutely perfectly fine. Try it out, and if you still find that you're distracted by the baby being in the room, then just go into another room in the house. Maybe use it as an opportunity to spice things up a little bit. The kitchen.
Okay, now, how old is too old for you to be having sex in the same room as your baby or your child?
That's a good question. I would say.
What do you guys think?
When they start to become verbal, I would say
3,
maybe you.
I heard somebody go 2. Child, no. 5, 6.
Maybe a year and a half. 18
What about
months.
you? Can we bring the mic on down to her? Because she said 2. What are you talking about 2? Stand on up. Stand on up. What's your name?
Yolanda.
Yolanda. So 2 years old, that's like, you go past that.
They talking about 1.
Oh, so you think stop at 1?
Yeah, they start talking at 1.
Oh, I thought you were saying the other way around, like Tyra, 4, 5, 6. I was like, woo, girl. Okay, we'll be right back. The worst thing in the world, the worst thing that you can do is ask a woman when she is due, when she is not due. And the baby is gone. It is gone. It is in her arms. It is in a cradle. It is in a crib.